Alright, we're out in the garage tonight. Going to start getting some work done on the Honda CL70 we just picked up. Not sure if you saw the first video, but we basically just did a video of getting it home and kind of did our first walk around, got kind of familiar with it. So if you want to check that out, check it out. But basically, we weren't sure what we wanted to do with it. If we wanted to do a restoration on it, just clean it up and sell it. But basically what we decided, because it's such a low mileage bike, we're going to kind of do basically clean it up, get it running, do some maintenance on it, try to get some of the rust off the chrome and the tank, handlebars, etc., wheels, and, replace a few things if it needs it, and basically make it a running survivor bike, and keep whatever patina's left after the cleaning up. Again, I'm not sure if you saw the first video, but let's see if we can get that to focus. It's only got 681 miles on it. I would say 95% all there. It's missing a couple things. I noticed yesterday, missing a rear foot peg. Probably got hit with something and fell off at one point. Tail lights in the rear and the front directionals and stuff. But I have a feeling that this bike was more of a yard bike, and it was on a farm, so maybe they used it to drive around the farm. Maybe, I'm sure it got played around with over the years, but I don't see any signs of any kind of old inspection or registration stickers anywhere. And being only 680 miles, I can't imagine they went very far with it. So anyway, our thought is to do that, kind of just clean it up, keep the patina that's left over, make it run and make it safe, go through the brakes and everything. So anyhow, that's the gist. Basically today this video is just going to be about the maintenance. Going to drain the oil, drain the gas out of the tank, get a better look at that tank, and I got a new spark plug for it. Not quite ready for a first start by any means. It's free, the motor spins, not quite sure about the compression. So enough said. We're going to start doing a little bit of maintenance work. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to try to get the gas that's in the tank out. I believe it's really old gas. I'm not sure if somebody put some fresh stuff on top of it, but at some point, but it definitely doesn't smell like it. So we're going to go ahead and use my little hand siphon pump here to get that out. I did a video on this not too long ago on the Mustang, getting the old gas out with this hand pump. So if you're interested how to siphon out old gas, if you're mechanically inclined, I'm sure you already know how to do that. But and I also get asked this a lot from that video, is what do you do with the old gas? A few people asked and a couple people commented, I wonder where he dumped it. But truth of the matter is, call your local town. They usually have, at least around here, they have hazardous pickups once or twice a year. If not, you can call the local DEC office and you can get rid of it, correctly. I don't recommend using gasoline to start a fire or anything like that. I can't imagine this stuff's very volatile, but there is a proper way to get rid of it. That is not looking good at all. I don't know if I've ever seen gas that bad. Wasn't as much as I thought in there, but practically black. Looks like a root beer. Alright, so I'm going to put my cap on that jug and we'll take a look inside. Alright, so there's a look inside the tank. I'm sure there's some sludge down there at the bottom. But honestly, I'm kind of happy with that. I think that's mostly surface rust. I really don't think there's any rot on this tank anywhere. So that's a big deal, because you find one of these tanks, even a good used one, they want at least $300 for one. So at some point we're going to clean that out properly and use one of the gas tank sealers that they have out on the market. going to do a little research on them. I did one tank a long time ago. Can't remember the name of the product that I used, but we're definitely going to do that. For now, to see if this thing gets running, we're going to do some other maintenance, and I'm going to take this tank off, get the rust out, put some fresh gas in it, swoosh it around, and then we'll put a little bit of gas in it just to see if this thing fires. But I definitely wouldn't run this bike with that tank like that, so I don't think it's too bad. Alright, I'm getting ready to take this seat off here. A lot of my other videos I do are how-to videos, mostly on the old quads and stuff that I work on and the dirt bikes. Not so much geared towards a how-to on this project. It's more or less, you know, this is our adventure on getting this thing running. But if something comes up where I think it makes sense to kind of make it a how-to, I'll definitely do that. So I just wanted to show getting this seat off. There was a bolt back there, and then of course those are 2 bolts I took out. Of course, one on the other side. They were 12 millimeter, so I'm going to set these down. I'm assuming this seat should pull right off now. Oops. Alright, so now I just got to figure out how this tank comes off. Alright, so to pull this tank off, obviously you're going to disconnect your fuel holes from the petcock. This hose is so old it feels like, I thought it was actually hard plastic, but I sprayed some WD-40 up here to get that off the nozzle there, and it's a little bit rubbery up here, so that's just, it's so brittle. I think it already snapped down there. I mean, it's just a piece of fuel line. I'm not worried about it, but yeah, basically I just sprayed that with some WD-40, took a little screwdriver and wiggled that off. And it looks like this motorcycle tank, it's just got this rubber holder right here. And once you pull that back, this tank should lift right out. Just got a couple rubber grommets here. Look out for those. When I took the tank off, one went flying. And that's it. Again, just pull that rubber flap back a little bit and your tank will come right out. Alright, so there's a look at the bottom of the tank. First glance, that might look pretty bad, but it's really not. It's all surface. I don't see any rot. Like I was saying earlier, that's a big deal with these old motorcycles. You know, this one wasn't sitting outside under a tree, so, you know, it was actually inside an actual barn. So that's what saved it. This is all just from sitting for 35 years. So for now, I'm just really going to spray this down with some WD-40 and let it soak in there a little bit. Before I put the WD-40 on, I'll probably, you know, use a small wire brush to get some of the loose stuff up. And at some point, maybe seal it with something. I'm not sure. Not a big fan of those rust converter chemicals. If you ever read full instructions on those, if you actually get that stuff on clean bare metal, it can actually cause rust. So ever since I did some research on that, I'm not a huge fan. I use it on certain things, you know, an old rusty frame or something like that, you know, with 1/4-inch steel. I'm not so worried about it, but something thin like this, just not a big fan anymore. So I'm going to see what else I might be able to do with it. But again, it's surface, so not overly concerned. Alright, so I decided to use this fluid film instead of the WD-40. I got a little bit left in here, I think. I used this on my Mustang for the undercarriage. There was a lot of flash rust just from sitting in my garage for 12 years or whatever it was. Just the humidity in upstate New York in the summertime will everything flash rust if it isn't covered with paint or something. So anyway, this stuff here they actually use for an undercoating under cars, and it's basically, it's kind of got a waxy film to it, I guess. It's not something you're going to paint over, but it'll definitely keep it from the rust getting worse. So that's what I'm going to use for now. I may do something different later, and once you do use this stuff, you would definitely have to clean it really good if you wanted something else to stick to it. But for now, this is going to keep it from rusting anymore. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull off this petcock here. I got this loose already. I believe that was that's a 10 millimeter. Pretty sure that's a 10 millimeter, and this will come loose. There's some gunge in there, that's for sure. And I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at there. I don't know if that was filter or what's left of the filter, or if it's just junk, but whatever it is isn't looking very good. Alright, so I pulled some type of gasket out of there, O-ring gasket. As far as I can tell, that used to be probably a brass screen, the filter, and the inside of that is looking pretty nasty. I'm assuming I'm going to take that Phillips screw out, and that petcock should come right off of there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, get this thing cleaned up. Obviously I'm going to have to see if this screen is available, and a new one of these. Hopefully I can get them somewhere, and we'll get that rebuilt, and then hopefully we'll be all set with this gas tank. I sprayed that fluid film on here and kind of wire brushed it in a little bit. You know, doesn't make it look beautiful, but definitely should keep it from rusting for now, getting any worse anyway. Alright, just wanted to give you a little bit of a look at what I'm doing with the tank as far as cleaning. Again, I'm not looking for restoration here. We're just going to kind of clean it up the best we can and go with the patina look, which the more I think about it, I really like that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. You can see here and here the difference already. You know, you're never going to get rid of this stuff here, but it used to look like that, and now it looks like that. And basically all I'm doing is using a little bit of WD-40 and Brillo pad. If you do use this process for something, if you use the Brillo pad, number one, be careful at first. Do a small spot, check it, but make sure you have the finest Brillo pad. I think it's like a quadruple 0. If you look at the bag, 0000, or just make sure it says fine or ultra fine, and just be careful. And again, I'm using a little bit of WD-40, doing it a little bit, wiping it down, doing a little bit, wiping it down. And our hope is that we can get the whole thing to look halfway decent, and, you know, again, going for that patina look. So I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, there's a little shot of the right side and left side. You can see I did the right side. It's just a little bit of comparison. The difference isn't earth-shattering or anything, but we're not looking for that. Again, we're just looking to get rid of some of this stuff, some of these spots. A lot of them you can still see, but they're lightened up a lot. I may look to see if there's a product out there that might work a little bit better, but I don't want to do too much rubbing on this original paint, so quite honest with you, I'm kind of happy with that. So we're going to continue on. Alright, so there it is, all cleaned up. I'm pretty happy with the results. For the look that we're going for, I think that that's a big improvement. I may try to get it a little bit better down the road, but for right now, big improvement. There's the front view, and there's the other side. So I'm going to call that good for now, and going to move on to cleaning up the frame a little bit, and then I'm going to put the gas tank back on for now. I got to do something with the petcock and everything, but as I'm cleaning this, I'm going to keep reinstalling stuff. I'm not going to break this thing down and have parts and boxes and all that. You know, at least to the best that I can prevent from doing that. Just kind of want to clean it, get it back together, and then see if we can get it running. And then anything we need to do after that, we'll figure that out then. so I'm going to end it there for this video. If you like this content and you didn't already subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you liked it. And keep an eye out, and we'll have more coming up.